Hello, I am me, and welcome to another tutorial. This is actually grunge. We're going to be doing a little bit of grunge here, and my aim with this header was simply to make just a header that you could just plop any old render over it as long as it would kind of fit with the color scheme and just have like a sort of set background that would kind of go with it. So you'll see right here, I'll focus on the background. This right here is a little manipulation I made, and I didn't really like it, so I just kind of used it for the background here. You can see I'm just doing stuff. This doesn't matter, but you can use any image for the background. And just so you know, for heads up, I will be doing an esports banner tutorial soon, and I'll be having SPEEDART soon for like a dark esports, like a brute gunner header. And the other one, what was it? The other one was... oh yeah, it's a spark plug. So if you want to see those, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're clicking on the bell. Sorry, but you got just in case you want to see them. And let's get on with this. Yeah, so I'm adding a gradient map over pretty much any image right here. And it doesn't really matter which gradient map you use. You just hit that half circle down there on the layers panel, and just something that's that shows a lot of different contrasts. As you can see right here, we're going to make it red after. So right there, we have our gradient map over a specific image, and then after that, we're simply going to filter it red. Alright, and actually I'm plopping the render over right here. And in case you don't know how to make a render or how to get one, you can usually pay for one. You can get render packs. There are free render packs that I would recommend. But I'm going to right click on our gradient map layer, and I am going to rasterize it. Once it's rasterized, make sure you have your color fill set to red below the gradient map layer. Then you can take the polygonal lasso tool or the marquee tool, and you are just going to select out one part of the thing you don't want. And it's pretty simple. You can see me doing it. I'm using the polygonal lasso tool. I'm just kind of cropping out half of our gradient map there. And it's pretty simple. You just do it, then you click delete, and then you'll have half of it, which will be a gradient map, and then underneath you'll have the color fill, which is showing on the right. Alright, right here I'm going to make a hue and saturation layer, and I'm going to make a clipping mask by hitting right clipping mask, and make sure this layer is over the gradient map layer. I'm just going to color correct this quickly. I'll just take the hue slider for the master, and I'll just like mess with it. It's not too important. We're just going to make the entire thing red after, but there is a lot of blending to just make sure it's color corrected at the end. But as you can see right there, turn the saturation up a little bit, and I'm just messing with it to try and make it as red and warm as possible. Alright, then after that, I'm actually going to make a layer over the hue and saturation layer, make it red, get a brush, make sure it's a soft brush, doesn't really matter too much, but just paint over everything. Then we're going to go to our blending modes right there, and you can just see which one you like the most. It's for the background kind of. You can go with hue. I think I went with hue at the end here, but you can see it just makes it red. It gives it the red hue. That's why it's called hue. But yeah, pretty simple. Alright, polygonal lasso tool, you're going to make a little box right here. The way I do it is I just click, hold shift to make a straight line, click again where I want it to end, hold shift so you get those straight lines. Then you get a hard brush by hitting B and making your brush tool, and just paint that entire thing in red. You're going to want this to be very centered because it's going to have sort of a grunge effect, I guess, and it's just kind of like a card that's kind of been ripped. So you'll see how I'll get the rip here, but I'm actually going to take this right here. It's just a stock image. I'm going to put it in the right, top right corner right there. And it's really simple, and it works super well. Alright, and then we're taking a brush from the Flux pack, which is actually Jan Design's pack, and I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to select the white of that, and then I'm going to make sure I have the card selected that we just made, the red square there in the middle. I'm just going to make sure I delete the colors that were selected white. So you're going to kind of select the white with the magic wand tool, and then make sure you have the red layer selected, and then you're just going to delete it and then get rid of the brush after that. Alright, then under the Grunge pack, or not the Grunge pack, the Flux pack, which is free by the way, there is a grunge little section you can open up, and I'm just taking one of these grunge textures and I'm going to place it above, make sure it's not, it's going to be pretty opaque, it's not super transparent, and then you're just going to take that, put it wherever you want, and then just take an eraser and then just like erase some of the hard edges. You're going to see me do right here. E to get the eraser tool, make sure it's a soft eraser. And you're just going to erase the edges or anything that comes out on the left side, which I turned black, by the way, in case you didn't notice. It was red, but I'm going to have it black. Then I'm going to have text and socials on the right, then on the left, and then with the right, we're just going to have some color texture right there. And right here you can see I'm just taking some halftones and just kind of erasing it and adding some texture, and you can see the circle right there. Those are all just plopped in from the pack. It's really simple. You just have to go into the pack, find what you like, and you can just plop it right in. Make sure they don't stand out too much. Everything is kind of cohesive and blends together, and it'll turn out pretty good. But then after that, below the render layer, I'm gonna actually get like a soft red brush. This is gonna be over the right side as well, but I'm just going to take it, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna make sure you get a black brush as well, and just kind of a drop shadow if you want, like of sorts. Just like paint over the right side so you get a little bit of just like glow. And as you can see, I actually chose divide so that it would kind of glow instead of be a drop shadow. And I also chose red, so I get kind of a red glow, but I didn't like that too much in the end. But I'm going to actually make a white brush now and just give it another glow, like we did on all the other tutorials that I used to do. Just really quick, a soft brush, just like, don't go too overboard with it. You're going to see I just kind of made like 1 or 2 splotches, nothing crazy at all. text. Don't worry, you don't have to use Cinema 4D for this. You don't have to use anything else. You just have to make sure you have a font that you really like I am. I'm going with Future right here, but I actually switch it in the end. You'll see what I switch it to is Baby's New. I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's a free to use font, so I'd recommend that. You can probably use it for personal use. But anyway, I'm gonna just put in name or whatever name you want. This type is editable if you buy this on PayHip. So if you grab it, it's editable and there's texture over in the end. But you're gonna see right here, I make it whatever size I want, which is about 175 is what fit in the end. And make it big and make it white in case you don't know how to do that. Then enter and Control T to transform it and put it wherever you want. And then we're gonna make another little text box above the name that just says your, and it's gonna be, you can just use any font you want. I just went with a generic thin free use font at the end, but you can literally just put any font you want and just make sure it's thin. And then I'm gonna show you how to adjust the leading with this actually right there. As you can see on the right side of the screen, there is a little box that says character paragraph. And you can see the VA right there, and you can just select the small text, and this is called increasing the leading, which is just the space between the characters themselves. And if you just take it, and I went pretty crazy with it. I went to like 600 leading, which isn't super natural, but I really like the way it turned out. But if you just like take your smaller text and put the leading with that, and just keep the leading the same for the bigger text. See, I'm actually taking sponsor icons, which are also from the Flux pack, which is a free pack again, and I'm going to go to color overlay. I'm going to right click blending options, then go to color overlay, make sure it's set to red for the color, and then the blending mode is color itself. So if there are any sort of colored elements, it'll just be set to this red. And then you're going to take every single one of these ones and just Control T and make sure they're all even and spaced. You can make a grid if you really want. Make sure they're all the same size, nothing's unnatural. And you're just going to place them all sort of evenly below so it's not anything crazy. Do the texture on the text itself. This is extremely easy. You simply take a grunge texture, you take it over, Control T to place it wherever you want. Make sure it's just above the name text, and just set blending options, color overlay, and then make it black after that. Or you could just mess with this right here, which is actually what I did at the end. I set it to subtract, yeah. So the white will turn black when you switch the blending mode, and then you're just going to place it right over the text, and then make sure it's a clipping mask over that text itself. By clicking right click, create clipping mask, make sure it's over the name so it doesn't go on anything else right here. And it's so simple, that's pretty much how you do it. And by the way, you can use pretty much any render with this, as long as you have this, any pack that has grunge in it. You don't have to have this pack, most packs have grunge nowadays. But right there, all you have to do is drag it over, blending mode, place it, clipping mask. It's so simple, it's so easy, and you can use whatever render you really want. And I saw this on PayHip, and there are about 3 renders in it, but you could just use any one you want. You can find them so easily on, just like if you search up a render pack on YouTube, you can find it incredibly easily. And this is not a banner that's something special, this is just the basics on how to do a grunge banner. I wanted to go over everything basic on how to do it, and this is pretty much it. And after that, I pretty much did a camera raw filter, which is just saving it as an image, and then go to filter, camera raw filter, and just messing with the sliders, and that is how you do a grunge header. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you later. Make sure you like and subscribe if this did help, and I'll see you later. Bye.